This month is going to be absolutely crazy for the NFL. I mean, the month leading up to free agency is typically the month that we see the most trades happening. And after the past two Super Bowls featured quarterbacks that switched teams and had successful teams built around them, I feel like the landscape of the NFL has been changed forever. So before we get to the content, ladies and gentlemen, we are 2,000 subscribers away from 500,000 subscribers. When we hit that goal, we're going to give away a subscriber that turns on our notifications on our channel $500. We're also doing the same thing on Instagram. We're going to give $500 to an Instagram follower. And I think after this, we're going to do smaller giveaways and then announce the winners at the end of the video, because I've been seeing a lot of people that are getting frustrated by the fact that they don't ever see the giveaway winners. So I really worked hard to fix that for you guys. Now that we got all that out of the way, break! Mike check 1212. What's going on, everybody? I really hope everyone's clipping this take. I will die on the Aaron Rodgers is going to the Denver Broncos hill. As a matter of fact, on Super Bowl Sunday, we got a report from the Green Bay Packers saying that they are going all in on Aaron Rodgers. The full report saying the Packers are prepared to go all in for Aaron Rodgers in 2022, spending as close to the cap this year and spreading it into future years as much as possible per sources. The Saints use this approach for Drew Brees, and Green Bay is willing to deploy that model to further entice Rodgers. So there's a lot to break down even for this tweet. The most common response is, dude, why on earth did you draft Jordan Love in the 2019 NFL draft? And this isn't what I believe in my heart of hearts that should have went down, but just to provide an argument for the devil's advocate, Aaron Rodgers wasn't even close to performing at the level that he was in 2020 and 2021 and 2019. Now, it's important to note that the man has been a Pro Bowler since 2018, but to give you an idea, in 2018 he threw over 4,400 yards, 25 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Then in 2019 he threw for 26 touchdowns and 4 interceptions and over 4,000 yards once again. And I guess at the age of 36, the Green Bay Packers thought that Aaron Rodgers was dropping off a little bit, so they decided to draft his successor in Jordan Love. Now look, man, here's the thing. A lot of people are saying,
wow, how could the Green Bay Packers do this to Aaron Rodgers after he's been so productive?
But you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, for example, and they have no contingency plan for a quarterback this year. Ben Roethlisberger's gone. He really overstayed his welcome for an additional year. If you ask me, they should have taken a quarterback last year, but they didn't really have that much draft capital to do so. And now they're going into next year possibly with either Mason Rudolph as their quarterback, or they're going to draft a quarterback in this year's NFL draft when this year's NFL draft is looking really bad for quarterback depth. So you can't really fault the Green Bay Packers for drafting Jordan Love, but I would say at least spend a second round pick or a third round pick on your QB for the future, because at this point, if you are going all in on Aaron Rodgers, now you just spent a first round draft pick on a player that is never going to get any playing time whatsoever, and it's just a waste of a pick. Yeah, I'm sure you could trade Jordan Love to another team that would be happy to trade for him considering how weak this year's NFL draft is, but it's still not necessarily the greatest move in hindsight. But of course, no one 100% makes the greatest moves in hindsight, which is why I really think this tweet is more fan service than anything, because if the Green Bay Packers came out and said,
we're moving on from Aaron Rodgers after back-to-back MVP seasons,
well, I think you'd alienate a decent portion of the Green Bay Packers fan base. But before we get to what Aaron Rodgers would do and me breaking down the entire situation for you guys, it's important to know where Aaron Rodgers is at mentally with this entire situation. According to Ian Rappaport, it's important to note that the relationship between Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers is in as good of a spot that it has been in a long time, leading to optimism and hope that he will choose to return. Green Bay is willing to do what is necessary contract-wise to make it happen. The important parts about this story is no one knows for sure what Aaron Rodgers will do except Aaron Rodgers, and no one will rush him to do it. Aaron Rodgers said that he's going to enjoy the next few weeks of his vacation and then make a call on his future, saying that I've had good conversations with Green Bay and I'll do some contemplating and make a decision here really quick. And there are some rumors that the Green Bay Packers are willing to spend $45 million on Aaron Rodgers and $30 million on Davante Adams to retain him. Now, I don't know how credible this is. This is one of those bottom of the barrel things that I've heard, but I just thought I'd bring it to your attention. Maybe it makes sense to you, maybe it doesn't. Now, in regards to what Aaron Rodgers should do, personally, Aaron Jones thinks that Aaron Rodgers is going to come back, but this is where things get a little spicy, ladies and gentlemen. You remember Nathaniel Hackett, the man that Aaron Rodgers absolutely adores? Well, according to this report by Zach Kleberman, I'm sorry if I butchered it, Nathaniel Hackett is pushing hard for an Aaron Rodgers trade. Now, you have to bear in mind, in order for this to happen, Aaron Rodgers would have to say, hey, I don't really care for making $45 million per year. I want to go to Denver, team up with my buddy Nathaniel, and potentially win a Super Bowl. To put things into perspective, to give you an idea of how big of a deal $45 million is to Aaron Rodgers, we take a look at his career earnings. This man made $263 million. He can make up to $291 million if he stays with the Green Bay Packers. It is a decent chunk of change for Aaron Rodgers. What do I think is going to go down? Well, here's the thing, man. Aaron Rodgers at this point is probably thinking, damn, I have as many Super Bowl rings as Patrick Mahomes and Matthew Stafford. This is starting to get really frustrating. I've only made it to one Super Bowl in my career, and no matter where he goes, he'll get a decent amount of money. Obviously not as much as the Green Bay Packers, but he still will get paid a decent amount of money. When you look at the Denver Broncos salary cap situation, the Denver Broncos have the 6th most cap space in the entire NFL. The Green Bay Packers have the 2nd least cap space in the entire NFL. The Denver Broncos already have a pretty good team in place. I mean, offensively, you have Jerry Jeudy, you have Cortland Sutton, you have Tim Patrick, you have Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. You have a decent offensive line that I guess you could improve over the summer because, again, you have all of that cap space available to work with. Then on the defensive side of the ball, you have Bradley Chubb, you have Patrick Surtain. There's some good pieces on that team, and you're very comfortable with Nathaniel Hackett. I don't see any way, shape, or form that Aaron Rodgers returns to the Green Bay Packers, who can only marginally improve from this point and on just because he's feeling sentimental. He's been there for 17 seasons and only has one Super Bowl to show for it. After watching Tom Brady leave the New England Patriots to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and win a Super Bowl, and then watching Matthew Stafford get traded from the Detroit Lions to the Los Angeles Rams and win a Super Bowl, why on earth would Aaron Rodgers stay? Yes, it'll get a little bit more competitive because his division would be absolutely insane with the Denver Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders, Los Angeles Chargers, and of course the Kansas City Chiefs, which please, football gods, make this trade happen. I want to see Aaron Rodgers and the Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs twice a year. That would be absolutely awesome. But at this point, the best move for his career would be to go to the Denver Broncos. Meanwhile, the Green Bay Packers could get underneath the salary cap and set up their rebuild really well by seeing what they have in Jordan Love for a year. This man has sat down behind one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time for 3 seasons, learning from him. Yes, it hasn't been the most promising when he got thrusted into the spotlight a couple of times so far, but I do think you need to take a season to see what you have in Jordan Love and see whether or not he could be the next quarterback for the future of the Green Bay Packers. At the same time, you could get a copious amount of draft capital from the Denver Broncos for such a trade. It doesn't matter if Aaron Rodgers is 39 years old. He is the 2-time defending NFL MVP over Tom Brady, and it just makes sense for both sides to part ways. I genuinely think the Green Bay Packers offering Aaron Rodgers a $45 million contract extension is just their way of saying,
hey, Green Bay Packers fans, we did everything we can to retain the man.
But if you're Aaron Rodgers, what decision would you make at this point? You know what needs to be done to win a Super Bowl. Your team is significantly better on the Denver Broncos. You have familiarity in the form of a head coach that you clearly respect. And just based off of the moves that the Denver Broncos have made over the past year, I mean, passing on drafting Justin Fields and Mac Jones a year ago and taking Patrick Surtain, and then this year with hiring Nathaniel Hackett, it's very obvious what their move is going to be. And I just think the writing is on the wall. You could clip this. If I'm wrong, you could spam me on Twitter with it. I am saying it over and over again on this channel. It makes too much sense for Aaron Rodgers to go to the Denver Broncos. That's my pick for him. We're going to find this out for sure within the next month. And if I'm wrong, you guys can meme me for the rest of my career. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man, and what you thought about this update. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic. until our next upload.